This image is of children waiting for candy to be dropped from a C-54 Skymaster that's approaching Berlin. It's during the Berlin Airlift, which started June 24, 1948. The Berlin Airlift began in West Berlin, which was the American, French, and British sectors when all roads and railroads were blocked by the Soviets. Because Berlin was located in East Germany, West Berlin supplies were cut off, and their economy and living conditions began to decline. The children of Berlin were also affected because they were no longer having any sweets or new toys. In order to combat this, the United States began a massive airlift of food, water, medicine, and other supplies to sustain the millions of people living in West Berlin. The airlift continued for almost a year. While waiting for his aircraft to unload, one of the U.S. pilots in the airlift, named Grail Halverson, saw kids lined up near a fence, watching the planes land. He went over to them, and seeing they were hungry, gave them the gum he had, and told them he'd be back with more. He told the kids to look at the planes and look for the one that wiggled its wings. From that point on, he became known as Uncle Wiggle Wings, and was the first chocolate bomber. He made small parachutes by hand, using the handkerchiefs so it wouldn't hurt the kids when the candy fell, and he asked many of the other pilots to help. Because it became so popular, kids began writing back to him using the handkerchiefs and asking for more candy to be dropped in other parts of the city. It grew in popularity quickly, and eventually, most of the airlift pilots were dropping candy donated by the children and candy makers in America. By the end of the airlift, 23 tons of candy was dropped, and the act of pilots dropping candy became known as Operation Little Vittles. This operation made pilots smile and enjoy their jobs a little bit more when they got to see the happy kids and they received their grateful letters. In this image, you can see most kids standing and all of them looking up at the planes, waiting in anticipation for candy to be dropped, demonstrating the huge impact the candy bombers had on the children of Berlin. I chose this image because I've loved playing with and caring for kids, and learning how the pilots touched the hearts of many and thousands of Berlin children made me thankful for what I have and more keen to help others.